we're saying something, no? We're saying that these people will beat these people. And some people called and said, no, their team is the best. So we'll be running those people's streets this morning. Yes, today is the day to run their street. Also, what else happened? This week, not much. Yeah, Arina Sabalenka, her winning streak has been broken. Finally, she was beaten yesterday. First of all, she bageled the person in the first set. She bageled Krejcikova in the first set. Then Krejcikova came back. You can imagine bagling somebody in the first set, and the person comes back and defeats you.
Wow.
In the third set. So it was not a very good game. And she was like, oh, well, it was bound to happen. I'm glad it happened. I was just like, you're going to continue losing like this all year. I have sworn for you. Also, what's going to happen today? Iga Swiatek again is going to be facing Coco Gauff again.
Oh.
And I envision more tears for Coco Gauff.
Poor Coco.
Because, as as much as Coco Gauff is growing, Iga Swiatek is becoming more cruel and wicked. So I don't know how it will end for Coco Gauff today. Hopefully that she won't be crying during the interview. But I suspect that she'll be beaten again today. So that's what's been happening. But we'll open the phone lines and then we'll talk to Barcelona fans. We'll have some therapy session because Zibby has empathy. So we'll open the phone lines for you. This is your therapy session. Tell Zibby all your problems. Maybe she'll be able to help you. As for Man U fans, up Manchester United. All right, so let's run through the stories for today and then tell us how to be part of the local.
All right, so Nigeria's Flying Eagles beat hosts Egypt. Formula One, Max Verstappen fastest on first day of testing. Fernandez hails special connection with Man United fans. Decisive duo Vinicius and Griezmann do battle in Madrid derby. Potter under pressure. What else is new? Spalletti warns Napoli to avoid conceits as end-to-title agony nears. Sergio Ramos, Spain defender, retires from international football with a heavy heart. Revitalized Marseille, dreaming of French title ahead of PSG clash.
Yes, so those are the stories we'll be looking through today. Really very big matches this weekend. The London Derby with Chelsea and Tottenham is around the corner. Manchester City face Leicester City. And usually I won't say that's a fixture to think about. But if Manchester City can drop 2 points to Nottingham Forest, who knows what else they are ready to give away. And then Marseille taking on PSG. The last time they met in the Cup, Marseille knocked out PSG from the Cup. And so they're looking to close that gap at the top of the league. So wait to see how that pans out. But you can join the show. Share your thoughts on WhatsApp with the numbers
0809 4440981. You can also catch the live stream on YouTube. YouTube. Just search for Smooth981 and click subscribe. And you can also tweet at Smooth981.
All right. So let's start with the first story.
Nigeria's Flying Eagles are back on track at the ongoing Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations after beating host Egypt 1-0, and this is the second group game, and it happened on Wednesday.
Yes, so they lost their first game against Senegal, who are the defending champions, by the same scoreline, 1-0. Very erratic in that game, looked haphazard, looked all over the place. And then against Egypt just always looked tactically better. But Nigeria had the physicality. I would say that's what they had over the Egyptians to be able to get that point. They did try to break the deadlock earlier, and Egypt had crazy opportunities. You just knew that if the Egyptians had a little bit of experience up front, they would have taken something off the Flying Eagles. But the Flying Eagles got the goal that was needed, and they held on. As soon as they scored that goal, they're like, this Pharaoh shall not pass this place again. Moses, stretch out your staff. And that was it. The Egyptians tried all they could, but they couldn't break the Flying Eagles down. So the Flying Eagles have won one match now against Egypt. So they are on 3 points, second in the group behind Senegal, who are on 6 points. And the Flying Eagles now face Mozambique in their final match. So it looks like they are going to be able to scale through the group, because ideally Mozambique, well, on paper, shouldn't give the Flying Eagles a lot of trouble. But really great one for them. And Badaboso has said, look, you know what, I'm looking to qualify for the World Cup. Everything else, with that style of play, tiki taka. I don't
Mm.
want to talk about that. If we qualify for the World Cup, then you judge me based on my results. That's it. So let's see how it pans out for them. But so far, so good.
All right, so let's talk Formula One. Now, Red Bull's Max Verstappen set the pace on the first day of Formula One preseason testing in Bahrain. The world champion, top of the timesheets for most of the day, ended it 0.029 seconds quicker than Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso.
Yes, so Formula One season is starting. You know now, once it's end of February, you know that testing has started. The biggest news in the paddock was that Lewis Hamilton is still a fine boy. That's the biggest news. On to other news. Um, Red Bull is still the fastest car. Sorry. Max Verstappen's Red Bull, because it's
Mm.
not all the Red Bull that are fast. It's Max Verstappen's Red Bull that is the fastest car. He was fastest in testing. Mercedes looked like they had closed the gap. Good news is that there was no porpoise in testing. So the car looks good to go, but they're still off the pace just a little. I don't want to say that they're sandbagging. I would say this: Red Bull looked as sharp as ever. Whatever Mercedes have done
Mm.
to try and close the gap between Red Bull and them and Red Bull and Ferrari, it's like Red Bull has upgraded too. So the faster Mercedes have become, the faster Red Bull seems to be. But this
Mm.
is just testing. So yes, you're going to see the odd McLaren showing some speed and Aston Martin showing some speed. What is important is in Australia on the very first race, how all cars line up. But so far, Red Bull looking really good.
All right, so Bruno Fernandes highlighted the connection between Manchester United players and fans as key to a famous fight back to beat Barcelona 2-1 and progress to the last 16 of the Europa League on Thursday.
Yes, and this was the outcome I envisaged. I have no doubts about or no questions when it comes to Barcelona trying to create some chances and score some goals, especially
Mm.
when Pedri was out, Gavi was out. I was like, that midfield looks a little lightweight, because Kessie doesn't do the same work, and the young, yes, as much as he is the legs of Sergio Busquets, it's not the same thing with having young teenagers just running the errand. So I knew it was going to be shaky there, but it was always going to come down to which defense is more solid. And that is what saved Manchester United on the day. Don't get me wrong, Fred had a fantastic second half. Anthony scored a brilliant goal. In fact, the two guys that scored, when the last people, if you were a betting man, those were the last people you put your money on to
Mm.
score. You'd be thinking, oh, Rashford is going to get another goal again. But that didn't happen. The people that scored for Manchester United were brilliant, but defensively was where they did the work, because there was chance after chance for Barcelona to even try to get something, but it was either Martinez just bossing Lewandowski, or it was Varane just making one last ditch save.
Mm.
But it was a brilliant defensive game. Apart from the fact that Bruno Fernandes went to do work that they did not send him, because they didn't send him to defend. They said he should stay in the midfield and pass the ball to the attackers. He now went to defend. That's how he gave away penalty. Apart from that moment of defensive lapse in concentration, Manchester United did brilliantly, and it was always going to come down to which team was going to be able to concede less. Manchester United did that. Manchester United are through. Xavi Hernandez is in Spain sulking and saying that next season will be better. But I also heard that last year too. So
Tega.
I cannot believe anything he says. However, for the Barcelona fans that called, I need you to tell us what you think. If Barcelona does not win the La Liga this season, can we categorically say Xavi Hernandez has failed? The numbers to call are
0144899981.
all right. So you call us and you tell us if, I mean, the way he was knocked out of UEFA Champions League was amazing. And then the way he was knocked out of the Europa League, he just started work and they knocked him out. So we can praise Eric Ten Hag because the turnaround he's made in Manchester United is brilliant.
Mm.
But let's assess Xavi Hernandez now. If he doesn't win the La Liga, can we categorically say he's failed? Let's take some messages. Aki Adesoji is here. I'm sure he's here to brag about Manchester United. All right, so his message.
Good morning, ladies. Glory, glory, Man United. Real Madrid humbled our bitter rivals Liverpool 2 days ago. We returned the favour by knocking Barcelona out of Europe. Eric Ten Hag is the man. He's turned the club around in just 7 months. Finally, a worthy coach to succeed Sir Alex. It only took 10 years. I remember when we prayed for days like this. Bring on Newcastle on Sunday. Ten Hag's first trophy awaits.
That's another brilliant one. Charles Chizude says,
the United second goal was a 1-2-3 press down, shaking together, and a running over.
all right, we're still taking your messages. I want to know, can you say Xavi Hernandez has failed if he doesn't go on to win the La Liga? But let's take this message from Tayo.
Tyre says Ramos retiring will be a relief to referees because they won't have to reach into their pockets for a potential red card tackle. What do you mean? I'm here. I wish the under 20 gave a good account of themselves because we are really struggling in this tournament and Nigerians aren't patient with this kind of performance. Ten Hag with another masterclass performance. Pastor Fred is preaching from his corner. Barcelona are going to need a new lever to buy their way out of this situation.
You've already found them guilty. You've judged them, tried them, and you've decided they're guilty of that. There's a case in Spain where evidence came to show that Barcelona had paid head of referees for years. All right.
No way.
So let's take our first call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. What's your name and your location? All right, go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, go ahead.
It doesn't mean La Liga this season is a total failure. Common opinion. He has still worked for it. Doesn't mean La Liga this season. Thank you.
That was short and to the point. It was like, if he doesn't win this La Liga, he should not just come back. He should not go and repeat SS2. There's no need for promotion. All right, let's see what Ejike says. Ejike from Ogba says,
will we put the trace pace of testing to Sans bagging? We have seen this from seasons past, but Australia will show us the pretenders when it's lights out. F1 is about to go down.
Yes, F1 is about to go down. Then Ibuku wants me to brag about Manchester United. Ibuku says, how about Tega? Celebrate Man U now. You should have allowed us to call so we can turn to Barca fans. See as De Jong and Lewandowski were shackled. Ibuku, you call the number 01
4489 981.
Come and brag as you want.
This is your time.
Yeah, but you can only brag after we take this quick break. He wants to brag. Call us. Come and brag after the break. Yeah, they didn't. Nah, that was not it. That was not a fantastic one from Barcelona.
Yeah. So they gone.
Gone.
Wait, so they were bribing who?
So they say that there were payments made to referees for personal and corporate favors. Now, what else will you be paying referee for?
Corporate favor.
Now they're saying that maybe the referee was giving them information on rules that were about to be changed or something.
Sign up now at showmax.com.
Who are you talking to, fam?
Who do you want to lie to? My friend, deduct their 15 points and send them to.
Wow. There's so much corruption in football.
I told you that the only reason they catch Juventus is because they are stealing. The person that's stealing for them is not good. They're always catching them because they don't know how to steal. Everybody's cutting corners in football. Everybody. The question is, how well do you cut the corners? You know, it's like one businessman that told me in Nigeria. I said, Tega, whatever you do, just make sure that you're 80% filled with integrity because you can't.
80%.
Because you can't be 100.
Good. Up to Newcastle to beat them and win our first trophy. Thank you.
All right. I like what he said. It's up to Newcastle. He's going to. I like the way Manchester United fans really believe that they will beat this Newcastle. And it comes.
But on paper, they should.
Well, it comes down to the fact that Newcastle have no real goalkeeper. Oh, Tega. Karius is a real goalkeeper. He's a professional goalkeeper. Tega. But he's the only hope that they have. And Newcastle really have struggled in recent games. They've been enjoying a bit too much, and then they lost to Liverpool over the weekend. So they're not in a good form going to the League Cup. So it looks like, to all intents and purposes, with the way Manchester United are playing, they're definitely going to League Cup. But it's one match, and anything can happen in that match. All right, Manchester United fans, don't brag too much. Let me just take one message before we read the next story. This one is from Pius. He says,
Tega, Barcelona used 1K to collect 2K. The charge is too high. I beg. We're looking forward to Newcastle. We move.
This will brag too much. This is why you shouldn't be winning. All right, let's take the next message. Next story.
Okay, Real Madrid coach Carlo Ancelotti labeled Vinicius Jr. the most decisive player in the world this week, but on Saturday in La Liga, he's facing another contender. That's Atletico Madrid's Antoine Griezmann.
Yes, so you can say that it's another contender, but in the head-to-head between these two teams, it's Real Madrid that has been shading it. And Atletico are not in a very brilliant place, even in this season where they found a way to turn things around. I think from the minute Diego Simeone say, "I may not be here next season," all of a sudden they started winning matches to climb back to third. Will that be enough to help them against rampaging Real Madrid this weekend? I don't think so. Real Madrid have had their struggles in the La Liga, but against Atletico Madrid, you know that they're just going to bring out their best for the local rival. So yes, as brilliant as this derby looks on paper, it looks like it's going to have the same outcome that it's always had, a Real Madrid win.
Wow. All right, so let's go on to some more football. And Porter is under mountain pressure to produce results with his very expensively assembled Chelsea squad. But we'll take out from the club's impressive record against the London rivals, Tottenham.
Yeah, this chef that cannot cook. They bought you all the ingredients. The soup is still not sweet. I don't know what Grandpa was forced to do, but he's facing a tougher task now against Tottenham. On a normal day, Chelsea against Tottenham is being brilliant results for Chelsea. In the head-to-head between these two teams, you could Chelsea has been bossing it in recent years, but because of the form that Graham Potter's guys are in, it doesn't look like it's going to be exactly the same way. Now, Antonio Conte's side and Tottenham have been giving mixed results, but in matches like this, they tend to turn up and show out. I don't know that the form that Chelsea is in, that they'd have what it takes to respond to what Tottenham is going to bring, and just for the sake of the form of Chelsea, I think this looks like a Tottenham win. What makes it sad for more Chelsea fans is that the hierarchy has said they are going to back Graham Potter. I didn't think I would see this from Chelsea.
Wow.
If this were Abramovich, Graham Potter would have been in his village farming by now. I can tell you for free. But this is not. This is Todd Boehly, and they have decided to back Graham Potter. So this weekend will be another test, a tough one, even more so because it's a London derby. Let's see how Graham Potter survives this one.
All right, now if Napoli's players are looking over their shoulders as they kick off the weekend Serie A fixtures with a visit to Empoli, which is rather struggling, it should not be at the distant chasing pack, but at coach Luciano Spalletti.
Yes, Luciano Spalletti has said anybody that relaxes, you will sit on the bench. In fact, you sit on the bench, you become one with the bench. And I understand what his sentiments are. However, you have to understand also for players. I tell people getting to the top is not the problem, it's staying at the top, because there's a certain level of comfortability you have when you're sitting on top. You have so comfortable. And then you ultimately become complacent. Now, if Napoli wins their match against Empoli on Saturday, which I expect them to win, they're going to create like an 18-point gap between them and the second place before anybody even starts playing. So that's a huge gap for people not to get complacent about. But Spalletti is just putting the pressure on. This pressure is not from outside now, it's from within. Spalletti is putting pressure on his players. And you know what? Yes, it looks like the Scudetto is coming to us, but we are not going to rest on our laurels, because one loss can lead to two losses, and then all of a sudden we are in a poor state. So he's making sure that his players, regardless of who the opponents are, regardless of what the competition is, that they're going to bring 110%. And I like that. I like that.
All right, do we want to look at some messages? Okay, so Sergio Ramos, the 2010 World Cup winner, says he's retiring from international football with a heavy heart. And this is coming after being told he will not be picked by new boss Luis de la Fuente.
Yes, so Luis de la Fuente was even polite. I don't know why that still feels painful, but he gave Sergio Ramos a call and told Sergio Ramos that you're not going to be part of my plans. Ouch.
Wow.
I still feel pain. And so Sergio Ramos was thinking, you know what, I've put in the best, brought myself back into the best form of my life. Yes, I'm 36, but I'm still playing brilliant football. I'm still playing at top level. So for the coach to call him and say, you know what, you're not going to be part of my plans, it was really hurtful. And so Sergio Ramos decided to retire because he's not playing. So what is he going to be doing on the team? So he retires and he says that he envies players like Messi and Modric, those are and Pepe. Pepe that is 40. Pepe is somebody's
Is he
grandpa.
40?
Pepe is not a young man. Modric is like 38, I think.
No, I think he's 37. He's still
37,
young.
yeah.
Okay, in football he's not, but okay.
They say he's still a bit young. How to throw you out of the place? Lionel Messi, we all know 35. So these are older guys, but they will still be the first people to get letter of call up from their national teams. And he was like, I envy people like that. I really thought my career was going to take that pattern because age, he was just trying to say age is not a disadvantage. People should stop being ageist.
But was he struggling though?
No, he wasn't. He isn't. He's playing for PSG.
I mean, on the national front.
No, he wasn't. He was injured. He was injured just before the World Cup, so it's understandable why Luis Enrique didn't pick him. I don't even think Luis Enrique would have picked him for the World Cup because that bad belly started from Luis Enrique. But it's a fact that he can still perform, but he's not being picked because he's older. I don't like that.
Ageism.
Yeah, very ageist people. But that's why he had to retire. So he's not retiring because like I've achieved everything, like Tony Cruz. No. He's retiring because they've told him that you will not be part of this team. So he had to make it official. Not a good way to get a send-off, I think. Not a good way at all. But at the end of the day, it has to happen. When you're 36 and there are like 10 central defenders coming out from the La Liga, you know that your seat on the bus it will soon be taken. So I guess that's what happened to him. It's a sad way to go, but he's had a brilliant career. He's won World Cup, he's won Euros. What do you want to win again? There's nothing else to win, so just go home, chill, and leave La Fuente to struggle with his La Roja. All right, let's take some of those messages because there are so many. Cruz, this is Cruz.
And Cruz says corruption is a global pandemic. All right, so Cruz is definitely watching the live stream. Anyways, in my opinion, Gavi hasn't failed totally, and I won't call him a failure if he also loses the La Liga. He's actually done way better than all the other recent coaches. My thoughts though, F1 is back in the building.
All right.
Toheeb says Man United should try and beat Newcastle to complement their impressive form.
I can't wait for that particular match. And this is Emeka Onelun from Amuwo. And it says, even if Xavi fails to win La Liga, Xavi should be given time. Tega, in your opinion, between Chelsea and Liverpool, who is the bigger banter club? Because I'm having this argument right now with a colleague. So we are arguing who the biggest banter club is. Okay, let's throw this to the phone lines. The numbers to call are
01448991.
And Emeka says people should help him settle quarrel in his office right now. He says, which club is the bigger banter club? Chelsea or Liverpool? Call us and let us know which one you think. Ibuku says Tottenham and Chelsea are in the same WhatsApp group. You can't even rely on them as they are consistently inconsistent.
Wow.
Anything can happen. Ibuku, I'm with you. I completely agree. Antayo says Spalletti, after studying tactics, is now focused on insurance to secure the bag for Napoli. That Spanish coach came with a violence through. I'm telling you, I like the fact that he was polite enough to make the phone call. But when you're delivering bad news, it can't be nice. How can you call someone and tell him you're not part of my plans? Why didn't you just? I don't know. All right, there's a phone call coming through. Let's see who this person supports. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, what's your name and your location? Okay, Buku, who is the bigger banter club?
Undeniably, it's Chelsea now. You can't spend that amount of money and be losing, and you are not the butt of all jokes. It's Chelsea. If there was an award for this, they would have collected gold, silver, and bronze. Liverpool will be fourth.
All right then.
So
Thank you.
Chelsea.
Thank you. All right, let's take another call. Hello, good morning.
Okay, give us a ring.
Give us a ring. Tell us which one is it. Emeka, we are helping you answer your question. People are saying it's Chelsea because they spent so much money and they're still losing. So you have to be the butt of every joke. So let's hear what you have to say. So numbers to call are
0144899181. Let's go on to the phone line.
All right. Hello, good morning. Yes. What's your name and your location, please? All right, Victor. Who do you think is a bigger banter club?
Wow, it's as clear as day and night now. Chelsea, obviously, with all the big buys they did and all of that, and yet they are still struggling in the league. As compared to Liverpool, they didn't spend much, just one portrait. But look at Chelsea; they spent close to 300 million or more than, but here they are actually struggling in the league.
All right.
So I mean, Chelsea is a bigger banter club.
All right. Thank you very much. Chelsea is taking this one. Okay. Again, Liverpool or Chelsea fans, call and defend yourself. The numbers to call are
01448991.
Tell us who the bigger banter club is. Let's take this message from Charles Chidozie. He says,
Chelsea is the biggest clown, even after spending £600 million.
wow, Chelsea is winning on WhatsApp and on phone calls. Mayowa says,
Chelsea is a bigger banter club at the moment. They can't score, they can't win to save their lives. They are a money misroad club. Long may it continue. Wow.
I can't believe this. This is Chris OJ, and this is the first time he's sending us a message. So I should applaud you.
Yay,
Thank you for
Chris.
joining us. Thank you,
And
Chris.
he's a Chelsea fan.
And he's a Chelsea fan. So Chelsea says, hi, I'm Chris. I'm a Chelsea fan. And Chelsea is the bigger banter club with all the ingredients. The chef can't prepare a delicious meal for once. Wow. Wow. I don't like the way this chef is cooking. Why is this chef cooking like this? HK from Ogba says, Tega for real. Luis de la Fuente sounds like a name for a musician that plays from a Spanish guitar and needs a duet with Tony Braxton. No, well, regardless of what he is, he has told Sergio Ramos, he has forced Sergio Ramos to retire. Exactly. So at the end of the day. So Emeka, I hope we've answered your question. Chelsea is the bigger banter club. They spend so much money. Number one, and they're not winning anything. Liverpool hasn't spent as much, lost some key players, haven't been able to replace that, and they haven't suffered like Chelsea. That's number one. And number two, Chelsea fans are too loud and they're too plenty in these Lagos. So we will drag them by the collar of their shirts. I start with this one. I start with this one in the studio. Drag her by the collar of her shirt. All right. Let's take this message from Temi from Ipadon.
Temi says Chelsea today, tomorrow, until the end of the season. Liverpool still manages to win once in a while, but Chelsea, even to score, no tooth. Wow.
Biggie from K2 says, Tega, the Lord of Banter, removed his hand on Arsenal and he has placed two hands on Chelsea and his legs on Liverpool. Liverpool makes sure Chelsea never walks alone. But that Chelsea safe, what will it profit them to spend millions of pounds and they can't shoot goals? Chai. All right, we take our last message from Ejike.
Ejike says, I'm a Chelsea fan and painfully, so we are a bigger banter club. After winning the transfer trophy twice in a row, I beg, it is clear as night and day. We are even considering a goal of the month from Chelsea ladies because they scored better goals this February.
All right, so that's all we can take today. When we come back on Monday, I can assure you there'll be a club to drag. Chelsea, hopefully.
Oh, wow.
Hopefully it will not be you. All right, so that's it on The Locker Room. Thank you for all the messages and all the phone calls, and thank you for watching us on YouTube. Zibby, take over your studio.
Alrighty, do stay with us. There's a lot more to come on a smooth breakfast from 9 o'clock Lagos. We get talking.